This great conflict that began in heaven and passed through Eden has now reached you. Who will win in your heart? Satan's deception or the truth of Jesus Christ? We have seen that the signs foretold by Christ are all being fulfilled, indicating that soon all evil in the universe will come to an end. What is missing for Jesus to return? First reason, the true gospel must be taken to everyone. Second, Jesus is giving more and more opportunities every day. He is patient and waits for a decision from each of us on the side of the truth. Luke 21 verse 28 declares that when these things begin to happen, exult and raise your heads, for your redemption is near. Keep listening to the voice of God. Soon we will contemplate Jesus coming over the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Being with the disciples on the Mount of Olives, Jesus heard from them the following question: "What sign will there be of your coming and the consummation of the century?" The Master then listed several signs indicating his return to earth. Some of these signs were initially fulfilled in Jerusalem and served as an illustrative model for the events of the end. Other signs, however, are being fulfilled now, in our days. Every day we read and listen to, in the newspapers, radio and television, innumerable events. There are several tragedies, earthquakes, slaughters, plagues, deceit, abandoned children, diseases, hunger, wars. What does the Bible say about these events? Let us analyze the signs that precede his return in three parts. First, the signs in the social world. Second, signs in the natural world. And finally, signs in the religious world. The signs in the social world are described in Matthew 24 verses 6, 7, and 10. Jesus prophesied that before his return, the world would be engulfed in wars, hunger, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, betrayal and hatred among people. In the second letter of Timothy, chapter 3, verses 1 to 5, he speaks of difficult times: unemployment, hunger, selfish people, avaricious, people blaspheming God, disobedient children to peace, men without self-control. These signs in the social world are from the work of Satan and not of God. In the second part of our study, we talk about the signs in the natural world. Matthew 24 verses 7 and 29 speaks of signs that are happening and that have already happened. On May 19th, 1780, the sun went down. That day was known as the Dark Day. In the eastern region of the United States, the darkness was so dense that the streetlights were lit at noon. The moon, although full, refused to light up. Science has not been able to explain this supernatural fact, but the Bible presents it as one of the signs that precede the coming of Christ. On November 13th, 1833, there was a dazzling fall of a star never seen before. These signs have already been fulfilled once, but before the coming of Jesus, they will be repeated with greater intensity. The signs in the natural world, such as earthquakes, floods, and great calamities that kill thousands of people, indicate that Satan is acting even in nature. In the third part of our study, we talk about the signs in the religious world. Matthew 24 verses 4 and 5 speaks of the religious deception that will occur in the time of the end. Matthew chapter 24 verse 11 refers to the increase of religions. Only in Brazil there are more than 1,500 Christian religions. In the world there are more than 35,000 Christian religions. Jesus also affirmed that before his coming, the false Christs and false prophets would work miracles and miracles. But what to do in the face of so many religions? The advice of Jesus is clear. He says, "Beware that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name and deceive many." 2 Peter 2 verses 1 to 3 speaks of the attitude of religious leaders who are moved by ambition and end up using religion, the Bible, miracles, in the name of God, to exploit people who seek them in search of healing, signs, and miracles. Another sign in the religious world is found in Matthew 24 verses 14. It presents the sign of God, which indicates that the end has really come. This sign is the preaching of the gospel of the kingdom throughout the world. The Apostle Paul tells us in Galatians 1 verses 6 of another gospel that seems to be biblical, but it is not. This gospel is the false gospel of Satan, for he knows that little time is left and is committed to spreading his terrible deceit. What should we do to not be deceived in the face of so many religions? In the first book of John, chapter 4, verses 1, we find the answer. The Bible guides us to prove whether the spirits come from God or not. That is, to compare. Whoever wants to do the will of God must compare the doctrine of the Bible with what others teach. Why does God command to prove? According to Matthew 7 verses 15, the deception has been appearing to be true. Paul states that it is not to be admired because Satan himself becomes an angel of light. It is not much because his own ministers become ministers of justice, and their end will be according to their works. According to Corinthians, chapter 11, verses 14 to 15, Satan has power to enchant people. He shows himself in a different way and presents the truth in a distorted way. His means of deceiving, according to Matthew, are signs, cures, and wonders. According to the Bible, we are living in the last days, and Satan knows that little time is left. That is why his anger is intensely against those who follow the commandments of God. The devil wants to lead us to commit iniquity and to deviate us from the true gospel, because he also has his gospel to deceive, distort, and change the divine truths.